And now, it's time for Socially Awkward Media with Levack and Goz. Awkward on 104.5 The Team.
It's so weird to be in studio and able to do all of our stuff and play with all our toys. One of our favorite toys is you, and the way you reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, email, everything, even when you call in. But the Socially Awkward Media is our chance to take your funny, creative, and great stuff that you do online and share it with everybody here on 104.5 The Team.
Yeah, usually there's like a theme of the week, like, oh, we got upset about this loss or this moment, or we're all over the place this week on Socially Awkward Media. So let's get into it. Don't forget, you can always be a part of the show. Facebook.com/1045 The Team. At the Jeff Levack on Twitter. At Tom Goz, TOMGOZZ. Kat wrote in, for you, Albany just beat Lehigh, so it should be a good test against Monmouth to see where they're at so far. Villanova will also be a tough test next week. Albany football did not receive any votes in the latest FCS rankings. The next two games, Monmouth and Villanova, they win those two games. Albany's got to start getting some top 25 love, right?
I hope so. I mean, look, we're going to have Greg Gattuso on tomorrow. I know it's going to be playoff or bust. That's what this year is. Depending on who you ask, including myself and Coach, they got robbed last year. They should have been in the playoffs. So hopefully a year like that, a couple of these big wins that you're talking about, and they get some playoff love. And then who knows, if the playoffs start and they don't redshirt E.B. Token Hanks, you can have a backfield of Mofar and E.B. Token Hanks, and whoo, hi now, how you doing?
We might be breaking some news tomorrow involving E.B. Token Hanks, too. It's a little tease for later in the show, but we're going to ask Coach Gattuso about it tomorrow. Scott wrote in.
I think we can do that because I don't even know what's going on.
That's the ultimate tease. Yeah. Scott wrote in, the Giants, Eli will bounce back. I still love Eli Manning and will be with Eli Manning until he retires.
And I will always love you. Look. Are you telling me that there's 12, 15 better quarterbacks in the league than Eli Manning? I don't know if I'm ready to put him in the top 10 anymore, but he's still in the top half of the league. He works. He can do this. This will work. But you got to run the football. You got to do the guy a favor. You at least threaten to run the football. 12 carries in a game? Come on, man.
Things could be worse. Things could be better. Eli kind of sits in the middle. He's average. The one thing you can always count on Eli Manning, I'll knock on wood for Giants fans, he is always healthy. 3 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL have started 200 consecutive games. Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, and Eli Manning. Imagine having backup quarterbacks over the course of the last 13 years for the Giants. You don't have to imagine it because it hasn't happened. It's always been Eli.
Did you see what Eli's doing new this year?
What's that? No.
So he's got a first year with him receiver and Brandon Marshall. He's got OBJ who hasn't been on the field yet. He's got a rookie tight end in Evan Ingram, and then Sterling Shepard, who knows what we're going to have this kid do this year. So apparently he is randomly quizzing them. So he's like, and Brandon Marshall said, it's Eli time, it's Eli place. Like, you don't know wherever he's going to be, when he's going to pop out you and ask you a question about the offense. So, like, you're in the shower and all of a sudden Eli Manning pops up, swing route, blah, 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 why? What's your job? You know what I mean?
Is it Eli Manning or It Manning? Is he Pennywise?
Penny not so wise?
Yeah. I told you we're going to be all over the place. DJ wrote in, Mike Bibby, Doug Christie, Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Hedo Turkoglu, Bobby Jackson, Gerald Wallace, Scott Pollard. How did the Sacramento Kings never win an NBA championship? Tim Donaghy and the refs?
I was going to say, you just listed a lot of the reasons. They always had good stars, not great. You know what they always had? They had really great players who weren't great teammates, I thought. Like Hedo Turkoglu was one of those guys that he actually was kind of glue for a while. But even him, I thought there was a point where he started reading his own press clippings, started worrying a little bit more about him than the team. I'm going to go with great players, not great teams.
I'm going to go with the referees and just read about Tim Donaghy and the Lakers. And I'm also going to say this. This is when we know there's too much sports sometimes on TV, when people are sitting around their house.
Woods should have get the voice that. It's called Shaq and Kobe. Duh.
That's a good point, Woods. But again, why are you sitting around your house watching 2000 conference final games, man? It's 2017. I get Kobe's numbers are getting retired, but still. Corey wrote this in. Is the Eric Berry injury to the Kansas City Chiefs worse than the David Johnson injury for the Arizona Cardinals?
I don't know if anything's bigger than Johnson for the Cardinals, because Johnson's that, as Merrill Hodge would say, he's a factor back. Factor back. He can do it all. I got a really wide tie, and he can do everything. I don't know if anybody's a bigger injury than David Johnson.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think they can survive without Eric Berry. They've been able to do things in the secondary when he wasn't 100%. While it felt like that offense now in Arizona, I get Larry Fitzgerald's there, but is Carson Palmer still a good enough quarterback to get him the football? Are they going to have other weapons on that offense that have proven themselves? That's a tough NFC West, too. The Rams looked good. Seattle's, I still think, the king of that division, but it's not easy for the Cardinals anymore.
And we've seen in the past when Eric Berry's not on the field, it motivates the Chiefs more. You know what I mean? They're that he is such a leader that even when he's not there, he's impacting play.
Kyle wrote this in. The next agreement involving the NFLPA and the NFL will result in less power for the commissioner in the 18-game regular season, and Mary Jane for the pain. It's a lot of stuff changed quick within 2021.
So the players get everything. That's not true. There's no way there's no, I don't mean to tell you that you're out of your mind, but if you're out of your mind. Because the players get more money, because it's 2 more games. The players get marijuana, and the players get less control from Roger Goodell. What do the owners get in this scenario?
Nothing.
Okay,
maybe more money for an 18-game regular season.
They make more money, but they still have to give the players more of that money.
Correct.
And actually, they won't, because you're going to have to take away 2 preseason games to make that happen. So and here's the thing, those preseason games where you pay almost regular season prices to go and enjoy yourself, guess who doesn't get paid for those games? The players. So the owners get nothing in this deal. Why in the world would they sign it?
They wouldn't.
Right.
Is the answer to the question. They wouldn't sign it. And also remember this. The players in the NFL, and if you can find another league, let me know what it is. They have the least amount of leverage involving professional sports athletes. Because of the helmet they wear, because of the amount of players there are, because of the short time span of their careers, NBA guys have way more power in their league. Baseball players at times with their $300 million contracts have way more power of what they can do. The NHL's locked out before. The owners have shown their power there in that spot before. And a lot of the players in the NHL say, we'll go play in Russia. We'll go play. Okay, people will not watch you anymore. Football, you can find replacement players. It can happen.
That movie with Keanu Reeves shows it's true.
Dan D'Antoni wrote in, if Joe Mixon gets drafted as high as he did for what he did at Oklahoma, planting the flag changes nothing when it comes to Baker Mayfield. Rivalry starter, loved it. The Baker Mayfield plant at Buckeye Stadium.
Few subtle differences. Mixon was already scouted higher as a pro than Baker Mayfield is. I just think those are apples and oranges. I don't think those compare at all. I think if you're a team that doesn't mind or encourages that kind of fiery thing, like the way Ray Lewis used to bring the defense out and stuff. Like Baltimore's probably chomping at the bit to get a guy like Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, and that's not going to affect his draft stock. Like, stop it. I can't. And Woods is doing a nice job on it. I think he's going to post it later this week, 104.5 The Team. There are NFL fans who just always have an NFL mindset of, hey, what can this college football player do for my favorite team? I'm randomly watching a college football game on a Saturday. Hey, he looked great for the Giants. Hey, he looked good for the Raiders or the Buccaneers or the Jets. And that's cool. Like, that's why some people watch it. And if it helps the sport, that's great. It's not going to change if Baker Mayfield's going to go higher or lower with rankings. I got 3 more for you here.
What is he, like a 5th rounder?
Probably. Yeah, 5th or 6th rounder. Brian, the closer Mariano, wrote in, what is Matt Woods smoking? And Woods, you're going to notice a theme here. About 3 more people tweet about you. What is Woods smoking taking 9 pitchers over Clayton Kershaw? Now, this
9?
This was a discussion involving the playoffs.
I was going to say in the playoffs.
Woods, if you want to defend yourself, you can. It was involving what playoff pitchers would you take over Clayton Kershaw? He's out like there was a few of them.
Okay, so I would take Kluber, Sale, maybe Severino,
Keuchel.
I've seen Keuchel dominate the Yankees in the postseason.
How about Justin Verlander?
No, 9 more.
I would.
9 more. Who else?
You had Zach Greinke, I think, on your list.
Zach Greinke?
Greinke is he's a PTPer.
Yeah. I don't think I got 9. I know I didn't reach 9.
I took 2, by the way. I took Kluber and Keuchel. Were the only 2 I took.
What about Sale?
You had Sale on your list.
I'm saying for you.
Sale hasn't done it in the postseason before. Chicago White Sox.
Neither's Kershaw. And he's had the chance.
Yes, he's been in the postseason. And
right,
he's been decent. He's been decent in some games, better than others.
It's like he's Superman and the postseason baseball is kryptonite.
Max Scherzer was one. That's a good one.
Scherzer's been a bad man.
Scherzer was a push for me. I couldn't decide on Scherzer. I think I took Scherzer.
That's all I got, though.
Give me Kershaw, guys. Like, I get it's the postseason, but he's Clayton Kershaw.
Well, with the way they're going, we may not have to worry about it. That's all right, but I mean, it's like I'm not gonna accuse Woods of illegal narcotics of any variety for that conversation, just because there's dudes who are clutch and there's dudes who aren't, and right now Kershaw's not until he proves it. You know, unless you're a Dodgers fan, you're probably not taking him over your ace.
I got two more for you, Woods, and stick around for you for this one. Rusty wrote this in. I implore Levack and Goz to cover this story. It is the defining moment of our era. It was the story involving a soccer player from Real Madrid because the player couldn't play. I want to make sure I get this right, because he had a pimple on his leg.
It is true.
He had a pimple on his leg. Damien wrote in, I love watching European soccer. This guy lost his man card forever, though. Can you defend soccer in this story?
How does a pimple affect your ability to play soccer?
From what I hear, it was on his heel, right where his kind of, I guess, your Achilles is. So they didn't want it. What they were thinking of was cutting out the back of the boot.
Which to fit a pimple? Just pop it.
I guess it's that bad. It's bleeding. So
I've seen so many videos on Facebook.
I'm not a dermatologist.
People love those zit popping videos. Just popping.
That's gross.
I know, but people love it. I can't believe you stopped playing. Like, can you imagine that? Hey, Steelers fans, sorry, James Harrison's not playing this week. He has a zit on his ankle.
Sorry.
Got
a bad hangnail.
He come hobbling out on one foot. Popped the zip, blew my foot off. Don't care. I'm going to play. Like, he would be like, you know what I mean?
Yes. It's a bad look for soccer, Woods. It's a bad look
I guess. I mean, it's not like they needed him anyway. They won 3-0.
Oh, nil.
Card.
I hate when I get nil.
That is Socially Awkward Media. You can always be a part of the show if you want to rip apart European soccer.
More.
Oh, you got one more.
Peter, he wants to know from you guys, who will have more football wins, Albany or Syracuse this season?
Wow. Oh, definitely Albany.
You think, really?
Oh, yeah. Albany will have more wins than Syracuse. I think Syracuse is heading towards 5. Albany could win 7 or 8 games.
Albany's season could end today, and they'd still have more than Syracuse for the rest of the season.
Oh, now that's not fair. Maybe true, but not fair. It's 2-1 right now.
You just ticked him off. So he wagged his finger at you.
Did.
The one that he can't bend. So that's why.
He didn't mean to point it out. It's supposed to be a fist.
Yeah.